Preparing for employment, behavioral expectations. Punctuality is a top 10 complaint by employers about new job hires. It affects productivity. When you're late, others must compensate. Repeatedly being late implies that you are irresponsible. Tardiness is understandable. We live in an extraordinarily busy world. We schedule meetings and appointments back to back, fit the rest of our lives into half-hour-long time slots here and there. We're always plugged in, constantly inundated with phone calls, emails, and texts that need to be answered immediately. But if you can be punctual despite these obstacles, you acknowledge that you value other people's time. Getting to a meeting or appointment on time shows that it's important to you and something for which you've planned. Being chronically late, on the other hand, sends the message that whatever you're doing is simply more important than the task at hand, and that your time is more valuable than everyone else's. Being on time shows that you are responsible. Your coworkers, clients, and partners want to know that they can trust you to get the job done, and being punctual is an easy way to demonstrate that you can. Here are some guidelines to help you be on time. Lay out clothes the night before. Set an alarm clock, or even two if you're a deep sleeper. Pre-plan daily routines. Pre-plan and pre-make meals before your shift. Plan to be early. In fact, it's a good idea to consider that 15 or 20 minutes early is actually being on time. Here's a punctuality example that's worth considering. Jane has recently been reassigned from night shift to day shift. Morning traffic is heavier, and she has been tardy 3 times. What would be the best solution? Jane should try a different route to work to shorten her commute. That might be worth trying, but let's see if we can find a better solution. Jane should leave for work at least 15 minutes earlier. That has a good chance of helping. Jane should try shaving a few minutes of drive time by driving faster. This could even lead to more problems. Jane should explain the traffic situation to her boss and ask for leniency. Since Jane is new on this shift, it's probably not a good time to ask a boss for leniency. Considering all of these choices, Jane should leave for work at least 15 minutes earlier. Like punctuality, attendance is a top 10 complaint by employers about new job hires. It's important not to take time off for any reason that you don't have to early in your employment. You need to let your vacation and sick leave build up over time. Most employers will have a policy that gives you warnings, but in most cases, 3 strikes and you're out. If policy is unclear, make sure you ask ahead of time so that you know how it works. 2 issues that often cause attendance problems are transportation and childcare, so it's good to have a backup plan for both. Make sure you schedule and communicate personal business well in advance of the time you're going to be taking off. Communicate emergencies as soon as possible and provide verification before your employer even asks. No matter what type of job you do, your employer has placed a lot of trust in you to be a good steward of the company's property. Employees often don't realize how much equipment is used daily or how much the equipment and resources cost. It is not okay to use company resources for personal use. Employees who have access to company funds, bookkeeping accounts, petty cash, or credit accounts must pay particular attention to their activities. Obviously, outright theft of funds or misappropriated finances is grounds for termination or even criminal charges, but instances of misuse of monies can be more subtle or even unintentional. For example, borrowing change from petty cash with the intention of paying back later. Here are some important questions that you should ask yourself when dealing with company money, funds, accounts, and property. Will my actions cost the company or its customers any money, whether it is cash, fees, or added expenses? Can I verify and justify my actions on behalf of or for the benefit of the company? And am I acting within the scope of my duties and the policy of the company? Use of computers, phones, email, and internet is another gray area for many employees. Some policies are quite clear about the use of these resources, while others are more tolerant of occasional personal use. Policies may dictate how an employee uses a computer and what they are allowed to access either internally or via websites. Most companies also install programs such as virus detection and firewalls designed to protect computer operating systems. But it's important to understand that everything done on a company computer may be recorded. An employee should have no expectation of privacy when using a company-owned and controlled computer system. There are programs designed to record every keystroke, file activity, intranet and intranet use, and some programs even provide desktop recording. Volumes could be written on improper use of these resources. Anyone who has watched the news in recent years has seen examples of how ordinary citizens and public figures alike have run afoul by sending inappropriate emails, text, or video messages, or improper use of office or cell phone equipment. Potential problems with office phones and email usage might include improperly forwarding, copying, or blind copying and distributing emails, sending or receiving personal emails, sending emails either about or to another employee that are meant to harass or disparage them, using company cell phones to purchase apps for personal use, or accessing websites that are inappropriate, and incurring overage charges for minutes, text, or data plans on a company cell phone. Explicit norms are written or well understood rules for proper behavior. You're usually informed about explicit norms, shown what to do or how to do certain things, and told the consequences for not complying. Implicit norms are more subtle. Sometimes you don't even realize what is expected of you until you have broken the rules. Understanding implicit norms and knowing when you have broken them is often a matter of watching other people's behavior and also how they react to your own behavior. Some examples of explicit norms are dress code policies, codes of conduct, written rules and instructions, and unofficial rules that are made known, such as a note taped to the break room refrigerator. Some examples of implicit norms might be: employees know the boss should not be approached in the morning until he has had his coffee. Casual dress is allowed when working on weekends. Or using vulgar language is unacceptable. What will you do with the feedback you receive from your coworkers? People are not always tactful in the things they say or the way they present criticism. It is very hard to see the truth in criticisms that are hurtful or seem more like attacks, but it is very possible that this is the sort of feedback you may get when you break those workplace norms. If you aren't willing to do something positive with the feedback you receive, then there is no reason to seek feedback. If you don't make an effort to improve, your coworkers will no longer give you feedback. They will consider you all talk and no action, and your credibility will be lost. For additional information about Missouri Department of Higher Education and Workforce Development Services, contact a Missouri Job Center near you. Locations and additional information are available at jobs.mo.gov or 1-888-728-JOBS. Missouri Department of Higher Education and Workforce Development is an equal opportunity employer program. Auxiliary aids and services are available upon request to individuals with disabilities. Missouri TTY users can call 800-735-2966 or Missouri Relay 711. If you would like additional information about this video, contact clink@copicinc.org.